Oh, anyways, this is sort of a different video. This is actually the second take of the same video that I tried to record last night. Um, and so you might be wondering what's all the stuff on the bed behind me. That's all 3D printed stuff that I found models for. I didn't design any of them, but I am looking at doing some of that later this year. Because I have just ordered about 4 days ago, I think. Yeah, well, basically 3 days ago. So on the 17th at about 8:30 at night, it's now 9:30. I ordered my brand new um, 3D printer. So for those who do not know, I've been 3D printing for just over a year now. And unfortunately, the 3D printer that I bought last year unfortunately has failed. Um, it was a very cheap printer. I think it was like a couple $100. It was an Anycubic Cobra Go, which they no longer make. It's now the Neo 2, I think it is called now. I would recommend, if you are starting out looking at 3D printing, don't go down that route. Go with something like an Ender 3 or a Prusa. Prusas are a little bit more expensive, but they're a hell of a lot more reliable than what the Anycubic Cobra Go was. You'll get way better support in terms of customer support for any of them, either the Ender 3 or the Prusa. And you're probably wondering, like, why didn't you go down that route? Well, the Ender 3 was a little bit out of budget, and the Prusa was way out of budget for me. I wanted to spend a max of $330, including material, which that's what's in those two boxes behind me. And I achieved that with the Anycubic Cobra Go and a couple of the rolls of their material. It was like $330 Canadian, including shipping everything direct to where I'm sitting right now. So, yeah. And so you might be wondering what's next with 3D printing for me. Have I given up? Have I moved on from it? No. That's on the contrary. Like I said, the printer that I have, still, I'm literally looking at it right now, is unfortunately a piece of junk. I've had so many issues with it. It is a printer that is, it was geared towards entry level pricing and entry level hobbyists like myself. Um, but it is such a cheaply made printer. It's pretty much plastic. There's some metal parts, obviously, like the bed is metal, like that whole frame is metal, but pretty much the whole thing is plastic. Um, and it doesn't work well. I have a few prints behind me that did end up turning out well once there was a software update for the slicer. Because originally the version that they shipped of Cura, which is the slicer, was, I think, very old. I think it was like 4.45 or something like that, or maybe even 5.5 or something. There wasn't even a fucking profile for the printer. And again, excuse my language. But literally, there wasn't a profile for it. So I had to create my own profile for the bed size, like the X, Y, Z, all that. I had to create that myself just to get the printer to work. Once I got that to work, there are still some issues. Like, This guy, for example, this is just a standard Squirtle model. Notice anything different? Yeah, his head is supposed to be right up here, but instead it got shifted back where his shell is. This is just standard PLA. It's Anycubic gray POA. If I remember, I'll try to leave links for all the material down below. I'm very terrible at putting links down below. Yeah, so there's a lot of issues with this guy. It did an okay job, except for obviously the head shifted. And so you might be wondering, like, what's next? Have I ordered another, like, Cobra Neo 2 or whatever the hell they're calling it? No. I'm basically writing off Anycubic for a couple reasons. One, the printers, at least the printer that I have, is cheaply made. It's a very, very entry-level hobbyist printer, which is fine. Like, if you're printing, like, once in a while, that's fine. But I was pretty much running this thing almost 24/7. Like, I was just print after print after print after print. And there were some very long prints on it, like, and I have a few of them sitting behind me. And it basically gave up. Like, it stopped auto bed leveling. I had to completely cut out the old nozzle completely and solder in a new one, because the other one got so jammed, clogged, whatever on in it. It was just terrible. I've had the material completely unload itself during a print. I've just had so many issues with the damn printer that back in like beginning of March, I guess, really, end of February, early March. I just basically said, screw it. Whatever job I get this summer, I'm going to be replacing it. And I knew, and yes, I know I'm sitting sideways. That's just how my desk is laid out. I am going to, hopefully, once the new printer arrives, be able to fix that. There's a lot of stuff on my desk from my Xbox One is sitting on my desk. It should be over on my dresser. Like, everything is not where it should be. So once I get some stuff moved around, then I'll reposition the monitor, which means I will be more centered in frame. But yeah, in theory, that printer and all that hardware is coming Monday and Tuesday of next week. So yeah, so basically, I've completely written off Anycubic. I can't speak in terms of build quality of their printers, in terms of like their Cobra Max, Cobra Plus, any of their bigger machines, because I just don't have one. I have their small hobbyist entry level printer, which is 220 by 220 by 250. So 220 this way, 220 deep, and 250 tall. So yeah, it was a okay printer, but with just how often I was running it, something just gave up, I'm guessing, and just broke. Yeah, I've had to completely almost rebuild the damn thing. Like I said, I had to cut out the old nozzle assembly, so that's the whole hot end. Had to be completely cut out, put in a new one, completely soldered, all that stuff. And it was still giving me issues. And so I was like, you know what? I had one of two options, right? I could say, technically one of three options. I could say, screw it, I'm done 3D printing. I'm glad I tried it. Two was try a different Anycubic machine, like go with like the Cobra Plus or Cobra Max or something, or go to a different 3D printer entirely. And there were a few that I was looking at, and I'm not afraid to admit that. Even though I do like the Anycubic slicer, which is Kira. Their hardware is not great. again, at least on the Anycubic Cobra Go, I'm not sure about their Cobra Max and Cobra Plus 3D printers. Like I said, I just don't have one of them to use, unfortunately. Um, but I do enjoy using their material. I can say that. I do enjoy using their material. The other reason why I decided to move off of Anycubic is their customer support. And I worked in customer support for a couple of summers, actually, for a total of 6 months, basically. So 2 3 month stints in 2016, 2017. And let me tell you, customer support is not easy. Definitely on the IT side of things. Um, like there were a couple tickets that I had to deal with because it's IT and we get tickets. Basically, like problems that we have to solve. And literally, like once one comes in and I get assigned to it, I'm I'm either on the phone with the person, um, on an email with them to sort of figure out what the issue is, or if they're close, like if it's within the same building or another one of the buildings, I would literally walk over to their office and talk to them face to face and solve it. And some of them have been really, really dumb. Like, I'm just like, how? Like, the computer's not turning on. I'm like, is it plugged in? They say yes. I go up to whatever floor they're on, go to the back of the computer. I'm like, it's not even plugged in. The guy's like, oh. Literally, it's like a 30-second job. Maybe even less than that. Literally, if I didn't, and like, I'm pretty quick at doing that sort of stuff, like entry level tech support, basically. Um, but with 3D printers, obviously it's a lot more complex. You have electronics, you have moving parts, you have heaters, you have everything. But literally, if I send an email to them right now, like I said, it's about 15 to 10 right now. If I send an email to them right now, I probably wouldn't get a response until, I don't know, Friday next week, if I'm lucky. Yeah. So it's Thursday right now. The 20th of June right now. I would not get an email until email back with support help till next Friday. That's another reason why I moved off of, or moved away from Anycubic's printers, is their support is just terrible. Literally, like, if I took a week and a half to do a job, I probably would have been fired. Depending on how large the job was. Let me put that in there. Because if it was like an easy job and I took a week and a half to do it, yeah, I would have probably been fired. But their customer support is terrible. It's probably the worst customer support I've ever had to deal with. Not just for the 3D printer, but in all the time I've had a call of tech support. It's been the worst. There have been some that have taken longer to deal with. Like trying to get all the original Gears games onto my Xbox account. That took like months to figure out why that wasn't working. But they ended up getting it working. It was just a weird sort of licensing issue with the codes and stuff that I got when I pre-ordered Gears 4. But that finally got all solved a couple years ago. But that's probably the longest one that it was in terms of like for calling support and stuff like that. But literally, like if I could literally message Bamboo right now. Again, it's basically 15 to 10 right now at night on June 20th. I would have a response within 24 to 48 hours. Not a week and a half. So that is that's why I decided to move away from Anycubic. And you might be wondering, are you still going to buy their material? Yes, their material is probably one thing I would still buy if I need to. And I'll explain why. So I'll talk about the material that I have sitting behind me, and then I'll talk more about the prints and stuff like this. This is one of the fails that I have, but it's still a good fail. It's just a funny one. So I have two different materials here. Both are from the same company. Because both of my, I do have one from Anycubic, but unfortunately it's in a bigger box, and I'm just lazy to get it. So this is an Anycubic box, but the roll in here is not actually Anycubic. It is a Polymaker roll that's in here. So this roll here has been opened. It was opened once, used for 2 prints, and then put away because I had some issues and we were thinking that it was the material. No, it was just the printer being stupid. So this has been sitting in this bag for quite some time. We got out as much air as we could, which is good. There is a desiccant pack in here, so I'm not worried about humidity, which right now I do have to be. It's like 70% humidity. What is it right now? It was like 70 something percent humidity today. So right now humidity is 87% humidity outside right now. So yeah, so this, like I said, is a Polymaker roll, and it is their Polyterra POA, PLA. So that's your standard basic material, and it's watermelon colored, which looks awesome. So it looks pink on camera. It's sort of like a pinky red, basically. Very, very nice color. I do have plans to use all the material that I have, like the ABS that's in here, this roll, plus a full fresh Anycubic roll I have in another box, plus pretty much a used another roll as well from Anycubic, which is a gray. So I have a white that's brand new, that hasn't been opened. I have a gray that is pretty much gone. And then I have another white that I'm looking at right now that's currently on the printer. So you might be wondering, like, how are you going to, or how do you store your material? Literally, if I'm not using it, like I said, this box was not meant for this roll, so just trying to get it back in is not easy. I just put it back in a box. Well, in this case I put it in a box within the bag that it came in, and tried to get out as much air as I can and put it on a shelf that I have. That's actually on this bookcase, which is just the one down below it. So that's the Polymaker POA watermelon, which I absolutely love. And then this one, and that, like I said, I'll try to remember to put down links for all the material that I have sitting behind me. Then we have a fresh roll. This hasn't even been opened, as you can see. Like, it's still, oops, where is it? It's still sealed. you can just see the what is it? Not the tear, but the God damn, my brain's gone. Tired. I've been up since 6:30 this morning. Seal, I guess. Yeah, so it looks like that. It looks more of like a... Think of the Lamborghini green, basically, but a lot brighter than that. That's sort of what this is. And this is ABS. So this is like what bike helmets, ski helmets, all that stuff is made out of. So I will be printing some stuff with this later this year. I have some plans. I have some plans for ABS this year. I bought this back in November. Again, just off of Amazon. All the material that I have currently, I have bought off of Amazon. So it's just easy to pull links. And you might be wondering, what's the new printer and what's the material that you've ordered? So the new printer is the X1 Carbon from Bamboo. And like I said, it should be here. Let me see if I can do this quickly here, because I'm also doing some updates and stuff, or not updates, but installs on my Xbox. So it would be actually easier if I switched to Streamlabs to capture the Xbox and then keep this running the webcam. So I'm just updating Streamlabs right now, which I should have done like earlier. Yeah, so right now I have just standard POA like this coming. Like not this exact, actually close to this color actually. We'll see what happens though. And then, so I have 11 pounds of printing material coming. And you might be wondering, that is one big roll. Actually, that's not one roll. That is 5 of these types of boxes coming. Or whatever type of box that they use. Yeah, 5 of them. Each one is 2.2 pounds or a kilogram if you want to go down that route. I use pounds personally. Makes my life a hell of a lot easier. So, yeah, I have 11 pounds of it coming. I have 2 build plates coming. I have a glue stick coming, even though I know it comes with one. I have a spare now. I have their swatches, so basically it shows what every color looks like in every material that they print, or that they sell, excuse me. I have the AMS coming as well as the X1. And it was not cheap. I think it was just over, it was expensive. And so you might be wondering, like, why did you go with the X1 over like a Prusa or something? Feature set. Yes, I know the Prusas are good machines, they're reliable. The problem is I want to be able to print very, very high temperature material, like that ABS and that Polymaker box. The problem is I would need an enclosure for the Prusa, right? So that's an extra cost, right? And then I would have shipping, I would have import, I would have duty, I would have brokerage. So whatever that Prusa cost, let's say it's $1,000 US, right? Would be more like $1,200 to $1,300 Canadian, minus brokerage and all that other fun taxes. So you get, at that point, you get very, very close to what a Bamboo P1S is, right? So for me, it just made more sense to go with the X1 because it's fully enclosed, it's a welded frame, it has a bunch of features on it. I'm not sure it has power loss detection. I have to um, I have to I have to double check that, which is what I'm about to do right now. So I have Streamlabs running to prove it. I can just do this. Oh wait, no, I can't do it actually. Oh yeah, I can. If I do this, there we go. Wait, give me a second here. There you go. There's Streamlabs. So yeah. So oh wait. I'm just trying to do one quick thing here. So, oh my god, really? I hate when they want you to double authenticate stuff and you have to use a frickin' app for it. So anyways, if I do, yeah, here we are. So if I say that, so it is currently in Ontario. So yeah, so if I do, give me a second here, I just need to do one quick thing here. So okay, so I have already redeemed it. For some reason, I can't pull up the drop for some reason for Overwatch 2 Season 11. For some reason I might not have connected it, even though I know I have. So yeah, like I said, everything should be here by the 25th. Oops. Rip. Yeah, it says for some reason it's still saying it's in Delta, BC, which I know it's not, because it was in Cyprus earlier. Yeah, North Cyprus, Langford. Yesterday. Now it's in Shinoa, Ontario. So it will be here in theory on yeah, so it's on its way. But like I said, I have no idea exactly when it's going to arrive. All I know is it's taking its time, which is fine. So you might be wondering still, what is my plan with the current material? My current material I'm still going to use, but after obviously I run out of the Prusa, or sorry, not Prusa, bamboo material. That's when I'll run probably my gray first, probably, and then I'll probably run the white that I currently have loaded, and then I'll probably run either the white spare that I have, or maybe the watermelon and or the Polymaker ABS that I have. So yeah, and you might be wondering, like, where do you get your models from? There's a few different sites that I've used. I've used give me a second here, actually. I've used Cults 3D. Actually, I can tell you, I have some on my phone that I use. I've used Thangs, which is typically where I go, so it's about THANGS. I've used Printables. I've used My Mini Factory a few times. I've used Cults 3D. Pretty much anything. Heck, I've even used DO3D as well for some stuff. Like his Mark 39 suit that he has. It's a full complete suit. It's like it's like a $200 model, basically full suit. And it's right now, as of recording, it's free, and I've had it for months. I would have loved to have printed it on obviously the Cobra Go, but unfortunately I got the model too late, and obviously the printer doesn't really work. So I'm going to be scaling it down to about 80% size, and probably putting it somewhere in my room, probably. And yes, I know the board over there is crooked. I know that. It's been like that for since I put it up, basically. And you're probably saying, like, why don't you fix it? I can't. Because unfortunately the slot, basically, that the hook is on for it, is crooked. Like, it does not sit flat. I've tried to adjust it and stuff like that. It just doesn't work. It always just goes crooked, so I'm just like, forget it. I am going to probably switch that out for a 3D print, actually, which is actually going to house all of the different bamboo materials that they have, because I bought their, what are they called? Accessories. Is it under accessories? No, it's not under accessories. Where are you? Filament? Filament accessories, I guess? Yes. Filament swatches is what it's going to house. And I can show you what I mean by that if we just do that. Yeah, this is what I've ordered. So it has all the different colors, so you can actually see what they sell and stuff like that. I originally wasn't going to do it, but for like 13 bucks, I was like, you know what, just do it. So it has 19 colors for PLA Basic, 16 for matte PLA, PETG Basic, ABS, PLA Tough, which is basically PLA Plus in my guess, I guess. And then it has PETG CF, which is carbon fiber filled, and then you have 2 colors of PLA CF, so that's carbon fiber PLA. Production technology for it was injection molded plus 3D printing. So it's 80 pieces. So package size is 30 by 30 by 205. So pretty decent size. There is a one for the X1 that you can fit on it. And it doesn't actually take that long, actually. According to here, it only takes... I thought I could pull up the... Yeah, so it only takes like just over an hour, like 26 grams. It takes 2 plates. Oh. No, it would only take 1 plate. Actually, because I have the swatches coming. So it would only take about an hour for it to print this thing. So I'm actually going to grab it. Download. So yeah, so I do have it all coming. Like I said, within the next week or so, I have all that coming. Let me just do... So there we go. So that's downloaded. Yeah, so I have it. I have the filament thing coming. All the different materials coming, like what I just showed you. Like I can show you. Oop, nope. Again, I'm not used to doing it this way. Yeah, like all that stuff is coming in the next few days. And then in terms of material color, I just went standard POA basic, just their standard generic color. So I ordered, I can actually tell you what colors I ordered. Oh, actually, where is it here? This one. So I ordered a red, a lilac purple, a black, a silver, which I would say is pretty close to this. This is gray, but I would say it's pretty damn close. And a green, which I actually haven't printed in a full actual green. Like, I do have some stuff here that has green in it, but it's not like a true green like the ABS. Because, for example, here, if I pull up the Minecraft ore block, this is actually a multicolored one, but unfortunately with how small it is, it doesn't show. And as you can see, if I lay this flat, you can see it's bowed. It didn't actually end up printing flat. It still sits flat, but there is a bit of a concave bow to it, basically, because of the printer being stupid. So yeah, like I said, everything should be here Monday or Tuesday next week. So yeah, so I'll talk about some of my favorite prints that I've done. This and sort of what are my test models. A lot of people use the Benchy as a test model, which is, it's actually a good model. I have actually printed one myself. But with most of the stuff that I print, some of these things I do want to actually sand, prime, and paint. So I do need a decent model, basically. Not all of them I'm going to paint that I'm going to show you. Some of them I would love to paint. Like, for example, this guy. This is the Minecraft ore block, which would look great in like white or gray. And then just do all the paint for it, which would be a fun project to do, actually. But obviously, for me to do it, I would have to basically max this up. I think this is 25% size, maybe 100%. I can't remember. I've had this one for a while, but definitely on the X1, I can definitely go big. 256 cubed is what the X1 Carbon, P1P, and P1S can all print. That's their max size, so 256 cubed. Whereas my current one is 220 by 220 by 250. So it's about 25 to 30% bigger than what I currently have. Yeah, so that's a test model that I'm always going to be printing with in pretty much any material I get. So that's going to be the watermelon POA from Playmaker, the ABS, and then obviously all of the bamboo stuff as well, once I get it. Then the other test models that I'm going to do, which I absolutely love, is this. This is the companion cube, where's the from Portal. Again, this is, I think, 50% size, maybe 100. As you can see, it is bowed like crazy. Yeah, you can definitely see it on this one better than you could on the Minecraft ore block. And it's super light. Like, I think I only did like 5 or 10% infill. But this thing is solid. Like, I can't even... Like, I'm actually twisting right now. Like, and actually trying to rip this thing... Well, not rip, but crush this thing. I'm actually putting force into it. And it's not budging. Like, this thing is solid. It's not super, super solid. But it's solid enough that it's actually starting to hurt. So this is, again, going to be a test model. The problem with the bamboo, for me, compared to like a Prusa or an Ender or even another Anycubic machine, is I have to convert all of my files. Because right now they're in STL format, whereas the Bamboo uses 3MFs, so I have to convert all of them. So they take some time. Basically, I'll keep them as an STL, and then when I want to print them, I'll load up Cura or maybe even Blender, actually, if I can, and then convert them that way. So yeah, so this is going to be definitely a test model. I do definitely want to paint one of these. Again, I probably wouldn't paint this one just because, again, there are a lot of artifact issues with it. But it's a decent model. Basically my go-to test model is this. This is the Pachimari from Overwatch. Someone actually created a model of it, which I absolutely love, because literally you go onto their site, onto Blizzard, and you want to actually buy the plush of it. It is stupidly expensive. It is stupidly expensive. I'm actually trying to pull up the... No. There. Yeah, the Pachimari is $35 US. Right. Oh, sorry, no, it's $35 Canadian. Okay. Still expensive for a plush. One of them, check out $48 for shipping. This thing becomes basically $100 plush. The shipping is $10 more than what because of the silly route protection, package protection. It's like $3. If I didn't need it, or if I can somehow get rid of it, I would. Yeah, it's going to be about $100. So that's. Oh wait, if I turn that off. Yeah, it's like $83. That's why I haven't bought one, and instead decided to say, you know what, I'm just going to 3D print one. And someone, thank you to whoever did, made a model, and I printed it like a ton of times. Like I have a small one here. This one's at 25% size. I have a 50% size one as I drop it. Wrote under my desk. Here we are. I'm surprised the guy didn't actually break. So yeah, this guy has definitely had some issues with them, because I switched from a gray to the white, and I was probably burning it. That's why there's a lot of sort of like burn marks and stuff on it that you can somewhat see. Again, this webcam is terrible. It's only 720p at like 30 frames, so it's not great. Yeah, but this guy's solid. He's 100% infill, because that is sort of what I thought. Okay, like I didn't know what the model was going to do in terms of like I didn't know how I was actually going to do sort of the onion head, shall we say. I knew the base would have been fine, like the octopus legs would have been fine. I didn't know about the onion part here. So I thought, you know what, be on the safe side, throw 100% infill at it, and go from there. This guy is, I think, like 10% infill, and it's super solid. It's super solid. I've dropped this a couple of times off like my desk or my dresser by mistake. That's just where I have a bunch of my 3D prints. And it survived. Like this guy just fell out of my hand and landed on tile, and it didn't break. Like, granted, it's 50% size at 100% infill, so this thing is pretty much going to be pretty much indestructible in a sense. So again, test model, which I like using. And then we have, actually I'll show you these two. Again, we have a Squirtle. This is Anycubic Silk Rainbow POA. As you can see, it is all kind of like burnt and stuff like that. There's a lot of just leftover crap stuck in the old nozzle and stuff, and I didn't end up really cleaning it, which, by the way, I think I still actually have some cleaning material, and I might end up needing to buy more. Rip. I have to find that. And then we have, I would consider a pretty good Squirtle. Yeah, there's some layer issues and stuff like that, and skipping and stuff. But other than that, like, it's pretty clean. There's no burn marks, as you can see. Like, he's pretty damn good. Like, there's no weird marks on him whatsoever. So I would say it's a pretty good model. Just printer being stupid, basically, and not printing properly. Would I consider him a test model? Maybe. But not like the Pachimari or the Minecraft or Companion Cube. Any of these two are pretty good test models. Then we have the big one. This guy took 14 hours to print. And this is 100% model size. Again, done in the same Anycubic Rainbow Silk POA. And again, if I remember, I will drop links for all the material that I've shown. The Polymaker ABS, the Polymaker Watermelon, and then anything from Anycubic, including the Silk Rainbow, which I absolutely love. Again, this is just a very clean model. Again, just some minor printer imperfections, but it's a pretty good model otherwise. So yeah, then, and you might be wondering, like, why did it take 14 hours? That's just what it took. It took 14 hours, and this is only 25% infill too. And I was a little bit surprised that it took as long as it did. I thought, oh, 100% model size, 25% infill, no supports. Yes, there was a raft. And it still took 14 hours. There is one other thing I do need to grab, and I'll talk about it. So, this might be a little controversial, if I can even speak properly, because a lot of people who 3D print, myself included, they use like hairspray, glue stick, or whatnot to get their prints to stick, right? For me, I use a raft on pretty much any print here has a raft on it and supports on it if it needs it. There are a couple here that I didn't use, like the Pachimari didn't use supports, the Squirtle didn't use supports, the big Pachimari didn't. These guys didn't use supports, if I remember correctly. The Squirtles didn't. But I know I have a few in here that did use supports. And I'll actually show you what one looks like with support on it. Give me a sec. This is a model that I still have to clean up. This is from I think Printed Obsession. This is the Mercy that they have. A few things broke off during printing, unfortunately, but this is basically what it would look like, still covered in supports, right off of a build plate. Very surprised this actually fit on the build plate to begin with. So, yeah, so you might be wondering, what do I use to make sure the prints stay on the bed? So, like you just saw with the Mercy, that's a raft, which I still haven't popped off, as well as the supports and stuff like that. The other thing I use, painter's tape. This is just standard, what is this? Painter's Mate green, like green painter's tape. That's what I use. So basically I will put about 4 to 5 pieces of it around the raft to make sure it holds, and go from there. And there have been a few that have failed with it, but 99% of them have worked with painter's tape. But you're probably wondering, like, what is your bed temp? My bed temp is like whatever the material requires, right? Like, for example, if I'm printing the ABS, right, my bed temp would be between 90 and 100, right, which would be about 95 basically, right? Or if I was printing the Anycubic material that would have been in here, I would have been printing at 105, and it works. For me at least, like, that's sort of the way that I go. I know with the bamboo, I'm going to probably be using the glue stick, a raft, and maybe a little bit of the painter's tape. Who knows? So I have 2 more 3D prints I want to talk about. Like I said, I know this video is getting quite long. It's almost an hour right now. And that is this. When you print this is actually the Beskar block sized at 50%, but it's 100% infill. This sticker right here was actually from my old phone, my S22 that I had up until this past year. This was what the camera housing would have looked like if you took off the back plate. And I just need somewhere flat to store it, because I definitely do want to reuse it. And I do have a project for that coming up once I get the X1, because I actually have a model of the old S22, and I have my old case, so I can literally take that model, put it in the case, put this on it, and I would have that as basically as a dummy, basically. And this took about 10 hours, just over 10 hours, at 50% size, but granted, it is 100% infill, because again, I didn't know what it was going to do. Was it going to fall over? Was it just going to cave in on itself? So I thought, okay, I'll send it at 100, and it worked. It was printed like that, straight up. As you can see, this one is quite good to see all the different colors. So there's blues, greens, yellows, orange, pinks. So I would probably buy that material again, that POA. But other than that, really, from Anycubic, I'm just saying goodbye to their stuff. And then the last one I want to talk about is this. This is, and let me actually pull up something as well to, so then I can get numbers and stuff correct on it. Because I did 2 different versions of this. So the first one I did was at 80% size, at 50% infill, and that one took 10 hours and 28 minutes. That one I don't have on hand, because that one got shipped out to the UK for a friend for Christmas. basically right after I printed hers, I printed one for myself. Mine here is a little bit different than hers. It's identical in terms of the model, but the sizing is slightly different. So mine, which is this one right here, is 81% size, but it is 60% infill. Yeah, this is 60% infill. And I was trying to drop it to like 50% or something like that. Even 55% I would have been happy with. But it was like, no. Cura was not having any of it. So not only was I fighting the printer, I was fighting Cura at the same time when I wanted to print this one for myself. So I said, you know what, screw it. I'm going to send it at 60%. And it worked. I can't remember if this had support on it. I know it had a brim on it, either a brim or a raft. And it printed beautifully. It printed straight up and down like this. I think it might have had support on it. And then this one took 20 hours and 26 minutes. Which is actually one of the longest ones to be printed. The longest one to print was an R2-D2 100% size, 40% infill. Sorry. I'm getting numbers mixed up. It's probably 40% size, 100% infill. And that took 23 hours and 22 minutes to print an R2-D2 body, which actually I can show you what it looks like. And here's the head as well. The head took 5 hours and basically just around 6 hours just to do the low head here. The pin actually has broken when I was removing the support on the inside. So it does still fit. It still does spin all the way around. Yeah, and this was Playmaker's Blue. It was literally just called Blue. Maybe dark blue or something like that. I can't remember. I can go back through my list, my Amazon orders. I roughly know when I ordered this color and that color. There's major issues with both of those parts, so that's why I'm not showing them fully off like I did with Revan's lightsaber, but this is pretty damn good. I will probably, if you guys want, post some of these over on my Instagram. Same name. Oh wait, no. Instagram is GameFails 19. I think it's 1923. I believe is my Instagram. Give me a second here. I actually have Instagram on my computer, so I can load it up. Yep, GameFails 1923. So I will post some of those over there as well, like higher quality compared to what the webcam can show. Yeah, so that's sort of it for what I want to show in terms of like models and stuff like that. I do have a project currently on hold at the moment, which is the shelf right there that you can sort of see, the tall gray thing there, beside the hard drive and my Call of Duty World League Shaker Cup. Yeah, that is a shelf for all those games back behind me. I was going to continue printing that project, but unfortunately, obviously, the printer basically said, nope, we're done. And basically didn't want to continue printing. So I was like, you know what? It's on the back burner for now. So yeah, so do you have any other projects coming up for the printer? I do actually, obviously, like I said, I do want to reprint a few of these, like the Pachimari, the Companion Cube, and the Minecraft ore block. And what I might actually end up doing actually is maybe doing it as like a standard, not a standard, but as maybe as a live stream, basically, where I just talk as it prints, basically, and you can see what it's doing, if I can figure out how to do that. I probably could somehow figure out how to remote into the camera. I probably won't do it right away, but I'll figure something out, because I definitely want to utilize the printer in that sort of way. So just chill, relax, not really do much, and just screw around, have fun with a very, very expensive 3D printer. Again, I'll leave links down below for the printer as well. What I should say right now is that the printer, a bunch of their stuff right now is on sale. Like, for example, if I go, here it is. Like, they're doing a 2nd anniversary sale at the moment. Like, you can get the A1 for like $430, the A1 Mini for $250, the X1 Carbon Combo, which is what I bought, for like $1,700. You can get the P1S for like $750, well, $760 basically. You can get the AMS for $780, right? The AMS Lite for $250. A bunch of their material is on sale. Accessories are on sale. And it only runs from June 5th at 8 a.m. or sorry, 8 p.m. UTC to July 5th, 8 p.m. UTC. Hassle-free, you get hassle-free 3D printers starting at from $250. That's less than what I paid for my printer and material right off the rip. So again, I would, if you're looking at a 3D printer to add or to buy, and you have a decent budget, I would consider Bambu. And again, like, their customer service, from what I've asked questions of, like back in, like I said, early February, March, basically, have been perfect. Like, within 24, 48 hours, I've had a response. I asked them basically straight up, how are you shipping it? Is there any import? Is there any duty? What's shipping, right? Because if shipping, let's say there was import, right? Let's say import was like $150, $200, right? I probably would have gone with a Prusa. Maybe. But they said, no, we ship with a warehouse from within Canada, so there is no duty, there is no import. And I'm like, okay. That's the big reason why I didn't go with a Prusa, is because of import and duty and all the other stuff. Like, yes, I would like to have a Prusa at some point, but the costs at this point outweigh it, unfortunately. I'm not saying they're bad machines or anything. It's just that for me and sort of where I live, they're a little expensive. Because I was actually, Prusa, Prusa 3D printers. There we are. So let's look at a Mark IV, right? 3D printers, fully assembled printer, right? Black, orange, that's fine. No extra sheets, no enclosure. Sure, let's throw in an enclosure. We say buy now. Yeah, shipping for a Prusa Mark IV coming directly from Prague in Czech Republic. Their cheapest FedEx 5 to 6 days is $185. So we say that, yeah, it's $1,500 US. Right? So if we go to here, right? 1,500 copy. Yeah, $2,135 for just a printer and an enclosure. Granted, that does include a roll of material, I believe. But that also doesn't include import and duty and brokerage. So that could be another couple $100. So instead of spending over two, like what I just did with the Bambu stuff, this would definitely be a lot more expensive. So would I like to buy a Prusa at some point? Yes. But right now, for me, the Prusas just are stupid expensive. Like I just said, over $1,300. Sorry, over $2,000. Granted, that does did include an enclosure, right? So then I can print higher temp material like the ABS, which is in the brown box behind below, right? So for me, it didn't really make sense. Like, I could get pretty much the exact same type of printer, a hell of a lot more capable, for around the same price, right? And ironically, the Bambu, or sorry, not the Bambu, the Prusa is actually smaller than what I currently have. Not by much. Probably I would say about 5 to 10% smaller. I want to go bigger. So that's another reason why I went with the Bambu. And the other reason about the Bambu is I can print way higher temp, like 300 degrees. I can do all the carbon stuff. I can do all glass filled stuff. I can remote into it. So if I'm, let's say, out of, like in town, for example, and I have the printer running, doing a print, and I obviously have my phone with me, I could literally log in on the app into the printer remotely, right? Check on the print, do all that sort of stuff remotely. Obviously, I can capture all the time-lapse stuff for streams and stuff like that, which would be fun as hell. So yeah, so obviously all that stuff is coming. I don't know when I'm actually going to do a full overview and like show everything that I got with it right away. I think I might have to wait until probably the 3rd of July, I would say. 3rd or 4th of July. To show you everything. Unfortunately, there's just a lot of stuff going on right now. So yeah, so that's what the plan is. But yeah, no, I am still going to be 3D printing. I just haven't been able to get the printer to do anything. So you're probably wondering what is salvageable off of it. Not much, actually. The power cord is still usable because it's just like a generic power cord for like what the PS3 was, or most monitors, for example, use. So it's not just generic PC plug. So that's still usable. The SD card is usable in other devices. Even though it's a 4 gig card, it's still somewhat usable. Obviously, the roll that's up there right now is still usable. There's not much left on it. I could probably get maybe a print or two out of it, depending on how big the print is. So there's still some stuff on it that I'm going to take over to the Bamboo, but not much. The rest is just e-waste, unfortunately. I just have had too many issues with it. Right, that was the one last thing I was going to look up, because I know the Cobra Go that I have right now is has power loss detection. I'm not sure. If this thing does have power loss. So I'm just actually looking right now to see if it has power loss detection on it. Okay. So, oh my god. This printer, by the way, is quite heavy. So, so it's basically 31 pounds. Just the printer. The good thing, okay, it does have power loss recovery. That is one thing I do desperately need, is because the area that I live in is prone to having not great power and to have some unstable power during like severe storms. So any printer I buy has to have power loss. That's the one reason why I went with the Cobra Go over like the other ones. Like, I don't even think the Prushas have power loss. They might, but I'm not sure. Or I know the Enders don't. I don't think they do. They might, but I'm not sure. So anything that I buy has to have power loss. Luckily enough, it does have a filament run out, which is good. This one could have it if they still friggin' supported it, but they didn't. Oh my god. it's 1,000 watts at 220 volts or 350 watts at 110. Like, okay, this is a very, very power hungry printer. Okay, so it does have a 4 gig. It does have a micro SD card. Okay, so I can still use like an SD card if I wanted to. That's nice to know. Touchscreen and app plus the PC app. So I will be doing a lot of stuff probably at the computer or off my phone. Yeah, so it does work with Kira, which is awesome. But I do need to know what format you use, which unfortunately, it does not tell me. So, yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't tell me. But, hey, it is what it is. So, yeah, anyways, all that stuff will be coming next week, actually. So, anyways, sayonara.